Oh, hi. If you know me, you would know that I'm a sucker for books. I love reading books so much. Last year, I've read 25 books in total. And this year, my goal for 2024 is to read even more books. But then it's slightly different genre that I'm going for, because last year the books that I've read are mostly trendy books or popular books, which are called BOOKTOK books. Basically, it's just the books that are popular among TikToks. Those books went viral on the internet and everyone's reading for them. So last year, most of the books that I've read are popular, trendy on the internet. I've read the Twisted series, also like the Love Hypothesis, those type of rom-com or fiction books. Not that I'm saying they're not good books, actually those are really good, fun books to read, but then gradually I'm getting bored of reading those types of books. I'm not being judgy or anything, it's that most of those kind of books are very similar plots. They have really similar plots, really similar writing style as well, and most of them are very spicy. Gradually they are almost the same to me, so I get kind of bored of reading those kind of rom-com books because they're basically the same. Last year I didn't allow myself the space and freedom to pick a book from scratch. Just pick the book based on the titles, the cover, or like a little introductory at the back of the book. That's why I have read a couple of books that I really like, that are not trendy, that are not your typical book recommendation. They are so good that I believe they deserve the recognition, and I feel like most of the girls in mid-20s will be related to them because they are so beautifully written. They're really nice books. So the first book that I absolutely love is Talking at Night by Claire Daverly. This is a book that I picked out when I was in Australia in an independent bookstore. The reason I pick it out is because they have really beautiful quotes at the back of the book. It's called "What do you do when the one person you should forget is the one you just can't let go?" And it just hit me so much. The characters Will and Rosie, they are opposite in so many different ways, and for example, the girls overthinks everything, and then Will is just a really wild and unpredictable person. So they start to become closer after like overnight phone calls. They met in teenagers and they start to getting closer and closer. And then, but years goes on, many things happen in their life. They drifted apart by so many things, but they always end up finding each other. It's definitely not a cliche fiction. If you ask me what soulmate is about, this book's cover all of them and what soulmates are kind of look like. This is a really beautiful written book. It's not too thick. It's about 400 pages. It's given me the vibes of normal people. If you love normal people, then you will love this book as well, because it's not those kind of books that have really good story plots, but then it hits you in so many different ways and you just felt really related to it. The other books that I've read, which is on my Kindle, they're Milk Teeth. This is by Jessica Andrews. It's a really short read as well. It's only around 200 pages. It's mainly about a girl who grows up in England, and she feels like she's surrounded by so many toxic culture, toxic energy, and she felt really struggled to find the purpose of life or what she wants. It's like trying to figure out her new chapter in life, and it's a book that's basically talking about what a girl who is in her mid-20s gonna struggle about. It's really relatable to me. I'm 24, living in places that I have no friends. It's just documenting how a girl's at her mid-20s gonna struggle to find the purpose of life, relationship, friendship, love, because in this book the girl moved to different places just trying to figure out what she wants in her life. Again, this type of book may not be for everyone's cup of tea because they don't have a really strong plot. I would say the best way to describe this book is there is no plot, just vibes. It's like watching A24 movies. It's really special, beautifully written as well. In order to convince you to read the books, I will read some of the quotes that I really like from the books as well. There's one that I really like. I have lived in so many different places and none of them ever really felt like mine. I've always felt like other people have more right to a space than I do, as though I'm not quite the right shape, as though none of it rightfully belongs to me. It just hit me because I travel to a lot of places and move around to a lot of places as well, and I couldn't really find a place that I feel like, oh, it belongs to me. If you're struggling in finding the purpose of life, or if you are living alone by yourself, or you are still kind of struggling to find what you really want, this book is for you. The best way to read this book is read it and listen to the playlist of Lana Del Rey songs. Perfection. The other book that I picked out, which is something that I don't really go for normally, which is poetry. It's my first poetry books. Nobody asked for this. This is a poetry by Charlie Cox. It's just a collection of her poetry about her mental illness, relationship with herself, friends, and also finding love. And she said the poetry that she wrote in this book is cover the darkest period of her life. It's brutally honest, really fun to read, and it's quite easy to understand, not overwhelming. We have short poems, long poems as well. Some of them are really beautiful as well. The way she described this book is, this is a collection of words written through some of the worst days of my life, periods that I felt wouldn't last long enough to become a memory, let alone a poem. She said, the challenge is not living another day, but distracting yourself well enough to find yourself looking through the proof and alibis, trying to work out how a decade has gone. Sometimes you have to thrive in surviving. The way that I read poetry is I really like to write a little notes on the lines that I really liked, I felt inspired, then I will try to allow myself to be in the creative space, and also wrote my own poems as well. If you want to try something new, you can go for this one as well. I love talking about books. I'm trying my best to influence as much people as I can to read more books because I feel like they are so underrated. It's my love language, I think. Reading is my love language. So, I hope you like it. Yeah.